when you're telling stories, when you're talking about a topic. This is a big key. This is 100% true for public speaking, but it's also true for personal conversations. Really great advice here. Okay, and then it says they give another advice. This is kind of about public speaking, but it works for one person also. Feel what you want your audience to feel, because emotions are contagious. That's the great phrase there. Contagious, it's like a virus, right? It can passes from one person to another, right? So you're tired. No, you're tired. And you meet your friend, and your friend is like super excited, super energetic, and you're at a coffee shop. After about 30 minutes, you will start to feel more energetic, usually, often, right? Some of their energy, it just kind of affects you. So people like that. So let that energy out. Don't try to think you have to be so serious. Let it out. Let that energy out. And if you're excited about something, talk about it. Don't worry if other people know about it. Talk about it. Be excited. And also, if someone else is excited about a topic, ask questions. Get interested in it. All right, that's chapter 5. Chapter 6 is kind of a little short chapter, actually. It's really, this comes from Tony Robbins, what they're teaching here, or actually it comes from NLP, which Tony sort of made famous. And they're just talking about how to program yourself to change your emotions quickly. In my seminars, actually, and in my book, I talk about this same technique. It's a very common neuro-linguistic programming technique, NLP. I'm glad to see them teaching it also. You can read it. It just basically talks about how what you want to do is just change your body to change your emotions, right? So if you want to feel more confident, you might think like, I'm not confident. How do I feel more confident? How do I make myself really feel it? And one little trick is your body, is your posture, and your face. Is actually by changing your physical body, you change how you feel. So if you just walk around all day with a nice straight posture, your back is nice up and straight, your shoulders are back, right? You smile, you have your chin up, right? Power English. Anyone with Power English knows what I'm talking about. I talk about this every lesson. You'll start to feel more confident. You'll start to feel more energetic just by doing these things with your body. So excellent. Glad to see them teaching that. All right. Chapter 7 talks about how to be like a very charismatic person. Okay, like somebody, when you go into a room, everybody's looking at you. How do you get people to, some more ways to get people to like you? And they talk about there are kind of two kinds of advice you might hear. One is like from the Dale Carnegie book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That book does have good advice in it, but one part of his advice is to just, listen to people. Basically, be interested in other people, ask questions. But the problem with that is that it can make you kind of quiet, right? You're just listening during the whole conversation, and you never really talk. So people will kind of like you, but you won't have charisma. People won't pay attention to you. This used to be my problem, still is sometimes, where I'll just listen, but then I don't talk much. So they're saying that's actually not so good. You want to speak up and talk, and you want to be loud and energetic when you're talking. You listen also, but it needs to be balanced. Don't just sit there and listen and be quiet the whole time. And then another tip they have is when you get attention, when you're being kind of louder and people are listening to you, that try to share the attention then. So everybody's listening to you tell a story, or everyone's listening to you talk, or one other person is. Try to then share that, so then include other people. Like if you're in a group of 3 people, for example, let's say you're the one talking. You're talking and you're telling a story. And maybe your friend's with you, and your friend's quiet. Nobody listens to your friend. So try to give some attention to your friend so that the other person or everybody at the party will also notice your friend. So you can say, yeah, I was at the beach and I was with my friend here. Hey, this is John. This is my friend John. He's really cool guy, right? So kind of when you have that attention, try to share it so that people notice other people as well. And you can do this by giving compliments. Compliment people. Give real compliments to people. Say nice things about people. But they say the important part about giving a real compliment is don't look for a reaction, right? Just compliment someone and then keep going, keep talking, right? Don't wait for them to say thank you, right? You don't need the reaction. You're not looking for a reaction from them. Just say, yeah, you're really smart. You're a really smart guy. I'm impressed. And then just keep talking. They don't need to say, oh, thank you so much, right? Just say nice things about people, but in a way where you're not, you don't need any thanks. Good advice. The next one is eye contact. This is important. And this can depend somewhat on culture. Right, different cultures have different levels of eye contact and what's good and what's too much. So you might have to adjust this one depending where you're from. These guys are Americans, so they're giving sort of American advice. And for Americans, you want a good amount of eye contact. And a couple points is it's not how to have good eye contact. Don't just have eye contact when you're listening. This is a nice trick from this book that I learned from this book. Right? It's easy to have eye contact, look in their eyes when you are listening. They are talking, you're listening, and you look in their eyes and you're nodding your head. A lot of people do that. But what's maybe less common is while you are talking, when you're talking to someone, look in their eyes. As you talk to them, look in their eyes. So then they feel you are talking to them. Right? So not looking around, look right at them and talk. If you're doing public speaking, then it's more where you look at one person in the audience in their eyes and you talk, you say maybe a sentence, and then you move, and then you find another person in the audience, you look them in the eyes, and you say the next sentence to them. And this is how you do it with a large group. But you're looking one person in the eyes as you speak. Very powerful. All right, moving on to chapter 8. Now we're talking about faces. Basically this chapter, a lot of this chapter is about smiling, how to have a good smile that people like, what's called a genuine smile, like a likable smile that looks real, and avoid having a fake smile. And there's actually a great picture here if you're watching on video of this example. And on the left side, the picture is Will Smith, the actor, and the right side is Nancy Pelosi, who's a evil communist scumbag from America, who's famous for, you can just see kind of how fake she is. Look at that smile. She smiles like this all the time. It looks like some kind of alien from another planet trying to smile but doesn't know how. It's really weird. So you don't want that kind of smile. It looks terrible. Actually, I have a nephew who smiles like this too. We laugh about it because every photo, he's smiling like this, and it looks weird. So we need to teach him how to do the real smile. So anyway, it's important because the way you smile, people feel it emotionally. If you have the fake smile, people will think you're fake. Maybe you don't even realize you have a fake smile. Right? You don't realize you're doing it, but it changes how people look at you. Maybe they trust you less, even though you don't realize you're doing it. So how do you do the nice smile? A real smile. Okay, Will Smith, it shows. You do it, you pull your top lip up. Okay, for a real smile, your top lip goes up like this. If you're watching me on video, you can see me, that my top lip is going up. What does the fake smile look like? The fake smile, both lips go out to the side, right? Instead of the top, only one lip, the top lip going up. That's the real one. But a fake smile, it looks like it's going to the side more. Both lips go to the side like this, right? This is the fake smile if you're watching me on video, right? You see how weird it looks. It looks weird, but there are people, some politicians, they smile like that. She's a politician, Pelosi. The other part is that in the real smile, the lower part of the mouth, the jaw, the lower lip, the jaw are relaxed, right? So the upper lip goes up, but the rest of the mouth, the lower part of the mouth is relaxed. See, I can just kind of move it. But in the fake smile, it looks like the teeth and the mouth, the jaw, they all look really like they're tense, right? They're not relaxed. It looks like she's trying to bite something. It looks terrible. The final one, and this is another important trick or key point, is the eyes when you smile are actually very important. Okay, so in a real smile, in a smile that looks great, that people like, your eyes actually squint, right? Meaning your eye muscles, actually the sides of your eyes come together a little bit. You don't close your eyes completely, but it's like a little bit. They close and squeeze a little bit, the sides of your eyes, like this. Right? See? And you can see if you're older, you'll have little lines there even. The fake smile, the eyes don't move. The eyes are they stay still. If we can go back to the photo of Pelosi, you'll see they're like her eyes are wide open, right? It's hard to tell maybe a little bit. You can see like Will Smith's eyes close a little bit at the outside as he's smiling. Pelosi's eyes are still wide open. They're not, like, her eyes don't move at all when she smiles. So you get this weird alien smile. If your teeth are like this, right? Your mouth goes to the side and your eyes don't move. You look like some kind of weird robot. It looks terrible. And it looks like you're kind of pretending. So you want the eyes to squeeze. I'll do it without my mouth. Just squeeze. It's called squinting. Clint Eastwood's kind of famous for doing this in his movies, right? So the eyes kind of close a little bit, the upper lip goes up, and that's a real smile. That's a nice smile. So that's what you want to do. And why is this important? Because this is one of the first things people notice about you. It's just this smile. It's people say smile, smile, smile. Everybody knows this is an important thing. But if you have like a terrible smile, if you have that fake smile, it actually is. It makes your charisma go down. Makes people trust you less because you're like, oh, this. They think you're lying to them. They don't quite trust you if you have that smile. So you want, if you want to really practice that smile. Some actors practice it, to get really good at it. So anyway, it's just good. Look in the mirror and do your natural smile and see what you look like. And if you have the bad smile, then you need to change it. I recommend you work on these little tips and techniques. All right, and that's it. That's our chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. So just some good, nice, simple techniques, advice about being more likable, having better conversations. We had a few things about how you talk, your energy level, and then using your face and your eyes. Okay, Jaquel says, eye contact could be something very hard to do. For some people, people find it uncomfortable. Just practice doing it. Mostly when you don't know people's facial meanings tend to be difficult for me. When I was younger, it was hard for me to do it. So what I used to do is when I walked around on the street, as people walk towards you, I would make myself look in their eyes for like a certain amount of time, 5 seconds or whatever. And yeah, like it would feel uncomfortable, but I'd force myself to hold the eye contact and then drop it and move to, and then the next person and the next person and the next person. And after doing that for about a year, I got used to it and it became pretty easy to do. So if you find eye contact to be very difficult, you can do something like that where you just practice it and you become more comfortable. Yeah, Hui Wen says you can smile with the eyes. It's a very important part of having that nice smile is that the eyes are involved in the smile. That's what people mean when they say smile with the eyes. A smile with no eye movement is fake. It looks fake. Jermila says, Pelosi looks like she's eating sour cucumbers. I hate false people, and smiles. Yes, she does look like she's, it looks like a sociopath. It's like a psycho or something who, it's terrible. It's terrible. Okay, let me see if just go back while I was talking. There might be some older comments. Hey, Leonardo, first of all, thank you so much for the super chat. $5 here. The best English teacher of the world, says Leonardo. That's very nice. Thank you. Beverly says, Villalobos. I really love this topic, Charisma on Command. Thank you. It's absolutely true and helpful to reflect on. I'm convinced of it. Watching and listening from Italy. Thanks. I remember you, Beverly. Yeah, Jamila says, I can't imagine being bored. I like to have much more time for doing all my favorite hobbies and things that I love. Great, exactly. And when you talk to people, talk about those things. Right? It's a nice reminder, actually. That go ahead. Sometimes even sometimes I worry, that if I talk too much about a topic I'm excited about, maybe it's boring for someone else. But, these guys are right. It's actually, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. If I try to talk about another topic that I don't care about, that's what's boring. Right? So if I'm excited about my children, I should talk about my children. Or if you're excited about your children, talk about them. If you're excited about a hobby, talk about that, right? Don't try to, I got to choose some topic that they're going to like, or that they, I shouldn't get excited about something. No, you're wrong. Go ahead. Talk about things you're really, truly excited about. Get that real energy will come out. It's much more interesting. You'll have better conversations, which means a better connection. It's a better social connection. I mean, that's the whole point of this, is to connect with people socially. Malik says, I think we must accept our emotions. Our emotions will go and we will stay. Yeah, emotions come and go. This is true. On the other hand, you can get stuck in emotions. So if you're getting stuck in a negative emotion, a low energy emotion, an emotion that is making you less happy, then change it. You can change it. You do have that power. We have the power. It's true. Just have to take some effort sometimes. Okay, let's see. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, I'm just going to jump down and go back a little bit. Carol, hey Carol, says, to me, nice tips to learn indeed. To me, smile and energy go together. True. A real nice smile shows you're completely at ease with yourself. Going to be honest, it's reassuring. Exactly. Some people have just those warm smiles, and it just relaxes everybody. As soon as they meet you, you have that nice smile, it relaxes them. Right? I'll give you a good example. I wish I could interview this guy. There's speaking of jiu-jitsu, there's a guy named Henner Gracie. He's there's two brothers that are the top of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu now, and they're both actually charismatic, but one is super charismatic. His name is Henner, and this dude is he's so high energy. He's got this great smile. He's so excited about jiu-jitsu and teaching, and he's just very, very, very charismatic. His brother's more like a laid back, kind of more relaxed, but also that same excitement, that same, love of and passion, and it comes through. It makes them very charismatic, and it's real. They're not faking it; it's real. See, that's the key thing. Is you don't have to fake about. You don't need to fake this because it's real. You really are excited. Tanishka White says, I feel when a person is not sincere with me by looking at their face and eyes. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people do that. Look, this is just intuitive. It's an emotional thing. It's not logical, but people feel this. So if for some reason you have a bad habit, you develop that fake smile. Maybe you're not fake, you're real, but somehow you learn to smile that way. The simple truth is people will react to you emotionally, and it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your communication because people will not trust you as much, even if you're being honest, just because of that smile. But it's really almost biological, I think. So that's why some of these skills are important to learn and to look at, because it's real. This is real. This is real influence. It's real communication, and there's no point complaining about it because it's the truth. People can't read your minds. So what do? They try to read your eyes, your face, and your voice, your energy. All right? We all do it. Let's see. About all reefers and fridge. A good sense of humor and handsome dress can also help develop confidence to lead to great charisma. You're correct. In fact, in the next chapter, they talk about some of dressing, especially clothes you wear. We'll talk about that next week. Hey, Julia Taquita, good to see you again. Okay, just keep on going down here. Yeah, Tungmin says, eye contact is a good way to talk and convince people where they will trust you in conversation. We can observe their emotions to adjust appropriately to the situation, control our conversation. Yeah, that's true. There are many benefits to eye contact. You appear more confident. You appear that you are interested in them more. And because you're looking at them, you can feel their emotions better, and then you can adjust your communication. And that's especially important when you're doing like a presentation, job interview, public speaking. It's important. A lot of public speakers don't do this. It's a weakness where they don't make eye contact. They like look at the back wall, or they look up at the slides. They're doing PowerPoint and they're looking back at their PowerPoint, or they're looking just at the wall, instead of looking at real individual people in the audience. So this will help your public speaking a lot. It's a good tip, good technique to do and to practice. That when you practice doing speeches, always look people in the eyes in the audience. Not the same person the whole time. That will look weird because you're ignoring everybody else. But just going from one person, look at them in the eyes, say something, and then then you kind of move around, and then you find someone else, look them in the eyes, and you're kind of doing this most of the speech. It's much, much more powerful. It takes a little practice, but you can do it. Okay, let's just move it on here. Okay, let's see. Abdullah Osman says, they taught us that if you can't look people in the eyes, look on the third eye, right in the middle of the two eyes, but a little higher. They think you're looking them in the eyes. Yes, that's a trick. If you're really, really, really uncomfortable looking in people's eyes when you talk, some people are very uncomfortable with this for a while. So as a first step, you can kind of focus, basically like at the top of the nose, right? Or like even the forehead. If you're watching on video, I'm pointing, right? You focus basically in between their two eyes. And it looks like you're looking them in the eyes, but you're not really. And that can make you feel a little less nervous and less uncomfortable. And then eventually you will get more comfortable, and then you can actually start to look, and here's the thing, when you talk and you look in their eyes, you don't do this nonstop, that's called staring, right? You just stare in someone's eyes and never look away ever, that's weird. That's uncomfortable for everybody. That's not what you do. You look and you talk, and then you look away a little bit, and then you look back and you talk, and you just kind of keep coming back to their eyes again and again and again. So you look for a little bit, you say something. Hi, my name is AJ Hogue. Nice to meet you. And you might look away while you're thinking. It's very natural, right? If you just stare at them, like without blinking, hi, my name is AJ Hogue. Welcome to the Effortless English Show. Today we're talking about charisma on command. After a while, it feels too long, right? And then everybody gets uncomfortable. They'll look away, actually. The other person will look away, probably. When they look away, that's a good time for you to look away. And then come back. And then look away, and then come back. Just keep coming back to the eyes. That's the important thing. And especially when you are speaking. Yes, Yusufian says, honesty and real emotions can make a deep and firm relation. Right, that's what we're talking about here. Real emotions. The emotions, that's how you connect with other people. That's how you hold attention when you're talking. That's how you attract people. That's how you connect with people and maybe eventually make friends. It's about that emotional, the energy, the emotion, right? Not really about the words so much. Yeah, Akos, you got a problem here. It says, the problem with me is I tend to be passive about life. I don't care about anything. That is a problem. I want to be passionate. I want high energy. The key to this, there's kind of two things, but it's just getting interested in things and enjoying things. I don't know how you go about doing that. And other than what I did is I just try lots of stuff. I'm just curious about things. So I try lots of things. If something seems interesting to me, I'll just try it. And probably, let's say I try 10 different things, hobbies or sports or activities. Out of 10, probably 9 I will stop doing. 9 of them I will not get excited about, and eventually I'll stop. But there'll always be the one, right? So jiu-jitsu, that's one. I'm very excited about it. I did it 3 years ago. I was excited. I've been thinking about it for 3 years during a break, and I'm back, and I'm super excited still, right? Other things, I tried bass guitar. Kind of excited in the beginning, but very quickly, I don't know, just not for me. I'm just not much of a musician, and that has happened to me every time I try to do music to learn. Well, not so much for singing. I like singing, but for playing musical instruments, I don't know why. So that's really normal. So there's no point forcing yourself about something that you're not interested in. But you got to keep, I think one key, Akos, is try a huge number of things. And you start to figure out, like, I like physical things. I figured that out, right? Generally, those kind of like doing I like physical activities, moving my body, being outdoors. These kinds of things are what I tend to get really excited about. For example. So I think you got to jump in. And the other thing is you can't worry about performance. That'll kill your excitement. It'll kill your passion if you're always thinking you have to be good at something, right? Like I suck at jiu-jitsu. I'm not good at it. When I was doing kite surfing, I sucked at it. I was terrible, but I liked it, man. It was great. When I was living in Hawaii, it was really enjoyable. Just being out there on the water. I loved it, right? Even though I was bad at it. So a lot of times it's just, I suck at golf, but I quite enjoy it. If you try to think like, I got to be good at this, it adds a whole bunch of stress and can can kill the enjoyment. Yeah, Abdullah Gazman says, right, the energy of the talker is very important. That's what attracted me the first time I watched your videos. You're very energetic. Indeed. This is something I actually realized I need to work on again. I've been a bit tired since my babies came. My energy's been a bit lower probably the last year and a half. So that's a good reminder. And sometimes, it's always going to fluctuate too. Here's the thing too, that that's why it's important to choose things to talk about that you really care about, because then the energy naturally goes up. There's no force, right? So this is why I take breaks sometimes, even though, for my business, I probably shouldn't take a break for a month or 6 weeks. But what happens is at some point, I'll just think, I don't know what to talk about now. So, and maybe for a few weeks, I'll try to force myself to choose topics, but then the energy's lower because I'm just not excited, right? I'm kind of trying to force it. I'm pushing it too much. So finally, I realized I'm just going to take a break. I'm not feeling it now. I'm forcing things too much. Take a break as long as I need. Might be a week, it might be 6 weeks, it might be 2 months, whatever it is. And then I come back when I start thinking, I want to talk about this, right? When I naturally have things popping into my head I want to talk about that I'm excited about, then you can feel it. You can probably feel that my energy has been higher yesterday and today. After my the last 6 weeks or so, I've been pretty gone, haven't done many shows, but that's why. But I can feel that my energy's higher. I'm excited about things again. Yesterday I talked about jiu-jitsu. Why? I'm excited about it. Right? And this book. I'm excited about this book. I love this book. This book's really good. I just realized my screen. I've been looking at my screen the whole time. All right. Yeah, Tungmin says body language is also an element to keep our charisma high and make the topic more interesting. Yes. I mean, how does that energy come out? Right? They say have high energy. In some more chapters that are coming, we'll talk more specifically about that. But, how can you feel if someone has high energy? How do you know it? You hear it in their voice, like the loudness of the voice, the emotion in the voice. You see it in their face, and you see it in their body, right? It's not the words. It's the, like you said, body language. It's the body language that shows that emotion, that shows that energy. So exactly right. It's so important. And again, it's important one-to-one in a one-to-one conversation. If you're doing any kind of public speaking, it could be a podcast like I'm doing now, or it could be maybe like a big audience. This becomes super, super, super important. And the bigger the audience, the more important body language becomes. You can imagine if you're in a room, let's say the room has 2,000 people. So it's this huge room. And then there's some people sitting way in the back, right? So you're pretty small on that stage. So your body language has to be very, very, very big, right? For them to feel it. And your energy in your voice has to be very, very, very strong for them to feel it. With one-to-one, talking to one person in a small room, everything can be a bit smaller. They'll still feel that energy. But if you're in a giant room with a huge audience, everything becomes actually very, very exaggerated, where your gestures, your body movements become huge and very, very big and very, very, very strong. You can see Tony Robbins is a good example of this. Carol says, most teachers should read this book. Good point. In addition to knowledge, charisma is what makes the difference between a good and a bad teacher. Absolutely. A large part of teaching is performance or charisma or presentation. A large part of it, teaching or coaching, okay? Because meaning it's emotional, right? Like that's why I like the word coach instead of teacher, but it's the same thing. Every coach knows this, that the emotional part of the game, the emotional part of the skill is very, very, very important. So a good coach, a good teacher, you have to affect them mentally, right, with ideas or skills or knowledge, but you also must affect them emotionally, the students, the players. So exactly right. It's one of the reasons I learned this book and studied this book and practiced it. Positive Human says, some people naturally have lower energy. Not everyone has Tony Robbins' energy. True. Do you think we can control our energy? Yes. Yes. Now, some people, like I mentioned, the two brothers, the jiu-jitsu brothers, Henner and Hiron, they kind of naturally have a difference in energy. Like Henner is very energetic, like Tony Robbins style. And Hiron has a more laid back, relaxed, just personality. But still, I would still say they're both high energy. It just comes out in a different way. So even if you're a little more relaxed, you speak a little more slowly, again, with your eyes, with your voice, people still can hear it, right? You can be what I would call laid back, but still charismatic. You can be laid back, but still energetic, right? You can. So you have to be careful about this. It's not low energy. Low energy is not good. So can you control this? Yes. Sometimes low energy is caused by health problems. It's a physical problem. It's caused by bad sleep, bad eating, health problems. So maybe you have to deal with that. Sometimes low energy is caused by bad fitness, right? Not enough exercise, just sitting around too much. You got to get out, exercise, get your body more energized. And sometimes it's more of a mental and emotional issue where you have to push yourself to let that emotion out more. But yeah, I think you should work on it. You can work on it. Everyone's not going to be like Tony. That's a kind of a style. How it comes out is your style. How it comes out is your personality. But it needs to be there. Ong says, in today's show, you talked about energy. I like how you're energized when you're speaking. That's why you're persuasive. Energy is persuasive. It's more persuasive. A low energy speaker is less persuasive than a high energy speaker. Absolutely. So many times, just the energy and the excitement will persuade somebody. Not always, but it's much more powerful. Saeed says, thanks to you. Thanks so much. I obtained a rank of 43 among, 19,500 candidates. So almost 20,000 candidates. You ranked 43. I guess this is for a job. Well, congratulations to you. That's quite impressive. Good job. Impressive. Okay. Couple more and time to go. Let me just check the time. Yeah, just a couple more and time to go. The name of the book, again, someone's asking the name of the book, Charisma on Command. Means instant charisma. And he says Adolf Hitler, a famous one for body language. Adolf Hitler was a very high energy speaker. Very, very charismatic. You don't even need to know German. You can see it and you can feel it. Okay, I think we are almost finished. Last chance for questions or comments, and then we'll finish up, and next week we'll keep going. Okay. Jamila says, when you love your performance and you prepare for it, when you're excited by it, your energy goes naturally higher and to a higher level. Yes, that's very well said. That's right. If you're especially talking about some kind of, job interview or public speaking, then right, you prepare for it because you love it. Choose a topic you love. If you're doing a speech, if you can talk about what you want to talk about, always choose a topic you're passionate about. Always choose a topic that you love, that you're emotional about. Emotional about is probably the word I would use. Because you could tell a sad story. You could get up to the audience and tell a very sad story as long as it was real high emotion in what you're talking about. You really, the way they said it in the book is a good way. It's something you really, really care about. That's how you choose the topic or what to talk about. That's how the energy comes up naturally without force. You really, really, really care about the topic. You might care about some things which are sad. That's okay. It doesn't always have to be happy, 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 right? It just means it's important to you. You care about it. That's the key thing. Oh, okay. Shifa says, I don't have charisma naturally. Most don't. Be a hard task to do it every time in an honest way. Well, this is why you have to practice it. This is why, with this book, you kind of go through the book. We're going through the book fairly quickly. If you really wanted to work on these things quite seriously, you can just choose one chapter and work on a couple things for a whole month. Like, let's say eye contact. That's a big one for some people. You might need a couple months to work on eye contact, just eye contact. And maybe for 2 months, maybe for 3 months, you really focus on improving your eye contact. And maybe then the next month you focus on, when you chat with people, you talk to people, talk about topics you really care about. Don't talk about the weather or the news or sports or something, unless you really care about that stuff. But always just talk about topics that you really, 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 really care about, or that they do. Right? So each of these chapters you could probably focus on for a whole month or more. So that's how if you really want to train these are skills. You're right, Shifa. These are skills, right? It's not just hearing it one time in a book. It's not enough. So many of these things you will need to practice, possibly for weeks or months. But it will improve your communication a lot. I mean, like I have practiced many of these things. As I said, I've kind of forgotten a few of them, but I know they work because I know that before I practiced them compared to after I practiced them, I improved. So Win says energy is is magnetic. It attracts people and things. It's a magnetic field through concentrating mental power or willpower. It's a nice way to say it. That's true. That energy does tend to attract people. I mean, this is what it's about. That's what's charisma. Charisma, people are attracted to you, right? It creates an attraction, meaning you're likable. They like it. They like you because you're interesting, because you're energetic, because you care about things. People who don't care about anything, people who are low energy, who are bored all the time, nobody's interested in them because they're boring. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, I'll end with this comment from Anis. The most charismatic people are usually improving their charisma. Correct. That's right. You're going to see this. Like, he gives examples in the book of different, charismatic people. Let's say Tony Robbins. Most of those people, some of them were naturally charismatic, maybe. I don't know, because of their parents or something about them. But what you will see is that the people who are the most charismatic, the most persuasive, the highest leaders, all these things, it's not an accident. They are working, they are practicing these things in the book. Maybe some of these things they do naturally, but almost nobody does all of these things naturally, right? So someone might naturally do eye contact really well, but maybe they don't smile enough. And so they work on the smile and getting their smile down, or talking about topics or getting their energy up. And we're going to see more and more and more and more and more things in this book. And all of us can practice these things. All of us can work on it. That's right. These are skills. These are just skills. They're social skills. That's all. And we don't learn these social skills directly, right? We kind of copy our parents somewhat, and maybe some other things, maybe media, but kind of like other topics like business and other things where they're important, but we don't really learn them directly. And so just like financial skills, money, business are important, and we have to learn these things ourselves, because we don't learn them in school, or we often don't learn them from our families. So I'd say the same is true with social skills for many of us, that we don't learn how to be these great social skills. We don't learn how to be charismatic. They're not natural for most of us. So indeed, but the people who become very good, charisma, we think, oh, it's just easy for them. Well, it's easy because they have practiced and they practice and they practice and they practice. Okay, so that's the good news. If you want to have a little more charisma, be more persuasive, better social skills in different areas, you just put in the energy and practice, and you can improve. And this book is giving us great, very, very, very specific, direct, simple things to do. That's why I like it. All right, so that is the end of our book club today, our show today, for Charisma on Command, chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. Next week, we'll continue on with the book, and I'll be back with other shows as well. All right. Learn how to smile well. Good eye contact. Lots of love to you. Join my VIP program, Power English, at effortlessenglishclub.com. Commit. Don't quit at effortlessenglishclub.com. See you next time.